I don't got everything off mute like I thought I was supposed to have. There we go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Salt City Racing Podcast. Kyler, are you there?
I'm here.
Are you in the big city of Dodge City?
I'm in the big city of Dodge City.
Is the wind
Sure.
blowing so you can smell that money out there right now?
You can smell the money pretty vibrantly.
Some people say it smells like shit. Some people say it smells like money.
Well, Nick said it right on the head. I didn't think I was going to be able to say that on the air, but I guess we can't.
It's
So,
Oh,
podcast.
we're a little rebellious sometimes, aren't we?
I guess you'd call it that, right? Guess you'd call that too. So, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in to Salt City Racing Podcast, 6 o'clock Wednesday night. And we're going to get kicked off the meet. What happened yesterday over at the Kansas State Fairgrounds. Would have loved to have got on the air last night, but had a couple other things going on between Kyler, Nick, and I that we couldn't get on here live to talk about what happened. But I think it's best that we had a little time to dissect, to go through things, and have a few phone calls today to talk about different things and what's happened over at the racetrack and what's going to happen going forward from that part. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. I guess the way Nick and Kyle describe it was very interesting yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Kyler?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected it, but you know what? We're gonna get through it. We're gonna make it great.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. When I left there yesterday, I feel 10 times better today after sleeping on it, making a few phone calls today, talking to a few different people and stuff. I feel much better where we're at and where we're headed today so far with what's happened. So first of all, what I need everyone to understand
Listen up.
and help, that when you post something on Facebook or Instagram or whatever site or YouTube or wherever you want to go, it's got to be positive. We cannot have any more negativity out there. It's zero negativity posts or anything about what's happening. Whether you like what's happening or disagree with happening, it doesn't matter. Right now, any negativity hurts the process of getting this fair board to approve a contract to keep this racetrack moving forward. I know it's easy to stand behind a keyboard and complain, okay? But we have to stop. Every bit of this comments that you want to make, anything you want to put out there needs to be positive, because I promise you 100%, each one of those fair board members are watching and looking and seeing what you're posting. And I can't ask you enough to please make everything positive. If you have something negative to say, call Nick or I or Kyler. We'll talk to you about it. But let's keep it off the Facebook. Let's keep it out of there. All we're doing is hurting ourselves with this negativity. So please stop with the negativity. Please stop with the bad comments. There's things I don't like about what goes on in the racing world, but I don't get out there and talk about and knock people in the heads and say negative things from that part. I don't care what racing series you're coming from, whether it's USRA, USMTS, UMP, World of Outlaws, whoever it might be. The negativity of any racing series, all we're doing is killing a racing world, in the world that we love, the things we're trying to do to strive to make this racing going on, and especially at Hutchinson to keep that track alive over there. I know there's a lot of passion in this racing world and a lot of passion for Hutch and the history and everything that goes on there at Hutch, but we're striving so hard to keep this racetrack alive and keep racing alive in central Kansas, and got a lot of things we want to bring to the table. But I'm begging you to please stop the negativity coming across the Chasing the Half Mile or whatever site that is on that part. If you got something to say you don't like, let's talk about it offline, off air, whatever. I get your opinions, and it's like I've had some great conversations with people today. My phone started buzzing last night after we left the racetrack. I didn't talk to anybody. I let it low so I could sleep on it a little bit, and made several phone calls today, and we're moving forward. I'm just asking everybody to stop the negativity. I called William Nusser and asked him to make a post, and he did, about the positivity and everything else too. And it does not help us getting this contract approved with the negativities. So let's keep it positive. Let's keep things moving forward. Let's keep thinking happening, and let's make sure that we're talking positive things about what's happening. And I promise you, after today, I do feel 10 times better than I felt yesterday when I walking out of that fair board meeting. Now I understand all sides of stuff, and that's what we have to understand. I always say there's three sides to every story, and you got to get all three sides before you make your opinion and everything else too. So enough of that. Let's move forward. So, gentlemen, we didn't get close to what I thought we would get yesterday. Okay. Far away from what I thought we were going to walk out of there with. I was hoping we'd walk out with a contract maybe not signed, but at least agreed upon to where we can move forward with different things that Nick and Kyler and I have on our plate. We want to go and what we want to do with Hutchinson from that part. So for right now, what is happening? October the 28th at 4 p.m. is with an ad hoc committee they put together of 4 board members, and Nick and I and Kyler are going to sit down on that day. And I'm begging you all too. We don't need a bunch of people to Kansas State Fairgrounds. We just need our group that's going to go in there and hash out this contract and make it possible to race for many more years over at Hutchinson. And we're going to sit down with that group of fair board members. There's 4 of them. And we're going to pound out this contract of everything that I changed. I shouldn't say I changed it. Nick and I, Kyler, changed in this contract to make it better. So Nick and Kyler, I think we need to kind of talk a little bit what we changed in the contract, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, really, the main thing is there's, a few things we need from them as far as some repairs to, the gates and some other stuff like that. We're wanting a little bit of their assistance to help us to where we can move the pits back over there onto the northwest side like it has been historically, and a few little things on the financial aspect to kind of help us out, help us make these races successful from a financial aspect as well. I think is probably the best summed up way to put it.
Yeah, we did put in for a 5-year. Do I need a 5-year? No, I need a multi-year. But I put the 5-year in there just strictly to ask for the most that we could possibly get and work back from it. If we get a 3-year deal with maybe a 1 or 2-year option after that, great. That's what we need. We just can't sit here and run this thing on a 1-year basis and keep a track successful moving forward and do things that we need to do and bring in the other sanctioning bodies that we talk to. And again, talk to several of them today. They've called and asked them what's happening, what's going on. And, I couldn't give them an answer today because we don't have an answer. The pits, I think everybody would love to go back on the west side, right?
I think so.
Kyler, wouldn't you agree the west side would be the better place to pit?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of benefits to that. I mean, it's obviously it's repaved, it's smooth. I mean, you ain't got to worry about rainouts and getting stuck over there. That there's a lot of positives to that. There really is.
So we basically asked the fair board to put up a fence, not a high 20-foot fence or anything else like that, from basically the northwest side of the grandstands back to that first building. And we just need a cattle guard kind of a fence. Don't need anything big to where we can keep the fans out of the pits, to keep the insurance happy and that sort of thing. And then we can pit on the west side. And Kyler and Nick, I told them that being able to come in off the west side and exiting off the east side, I think that would save 30 minutes a show.
I agree.
Oh, at least I guarantee you. I mean, when you start rolling cars in and staging, I mean, that's why at Dodge City, I love doing trophy presentations right after the race. But if you have 5 classes a night and that takes 5-10 minutes to do it, 15 minutes, that's an hour onto your show.
Yep. Well,
it's the little things like that you can speed your show up. And we've said it 100 times. People's attention spans ain't more than 3 hours. That's why they make movies to be 2 hours and 15 minutes. So.
Well,
there's a lot of things we can do.
And same thing there, bringing the feature winners right to the front there and interview them right after the race. The other thing, Tyler, that I talked to him about is, being able to bring driver introductions. If it's the sprint car night or the late model night or the A-Mods is the top class, bring those guys out on the front straightaway, introduce them out of their cars, let them get in the cars and take off from there. I think that's another great fan experience. The fans would love, even though they can come down through the pits after the races and meet the drivers. I think that's a very cool thing we can do with time we have.
Yeah,
exactly. And I really think that at the end of the night, having the pits over there on that west side will allow more people come from the grandstands to the pits, because it is a long walk for them to go over there, and see that stuff and buy T-shirts, because all these guys they're all selling T-shirts anymore. They've all got merchandise. And it's nice when they can go pick up a T-shirt of their favorite driver, stuff like that.
Yep. So pitting over there, the length of the contract, putting the fence up. There's a couple other things on that contract we put in there for a little bit of concession help. We put some stuff in there for the percentage that they want to charge us to be able to sell apparel there at the racetrack. So we'll see how that gets negotiated out too. With them, and where we can come to a happy medium, a happy agreement on something there in between there to make it more easy and beneficial for both parties on that part too. from that part.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's got to be, it's got to be a two-way street. It's got to be a two-way relationship, and you know, we just need we just need to convince them to see the vision of what we want to do and what we can do long term with Salt City Racing and how it can benefit not just the Kansas State Fair fairgrounds, but also, you know, the surrounding community, Hutchinson, Reno County, and beyond.
Yeah, it's a quality of life. It's a quality of life event, and it's the economic impact that it brings to the area, not just to City of Hutch, but the area is unreal. I mean, people ain't just getting motel rooms in Hutchinson, you know, on the Silver Crown 2 day. They're going to Wichita. They're experiencing different things. So it's a surrounding economic impact that people just don't understand. You know.
You know, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. Talking to one of the fair board members today, and kind of going through the contract, not line by line, but just option by option of things we changed and was looking at. A lot of misunderstanding there from him too, that he didn't understand all the aspects, everything. And I told him, I said, that's kind of what I was expecting yesterday, was to get more questions and things from the board members till we could clarify why I was asking for what we put in that contract. And he says, "Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. And I get that. Now I get that." He said, "It makes a big difference." Now, what we're lucky about is that gentleman is on the ad hoc committee. So that's, I think, is going to help us a lot when we get in there with the other three board members to talk about that, about the options, why we put them in there, why we did what we did. From that part. The next thing is the sponsors. I mean, we really didn't go out and solicit sponsors a lot, because it's just on a 1-year deal. I've said this to many people. If someone walked into the dealership and had a 1-year deal on kind of a racetrack or whatever, I'd be a little bit leery about what I'd want to spend and what I'd want to do to promote that racetrack with only a 1-year deal, knowing that, hey, it's a 1-year deal, poof, the money's gone. Where I can get a multi-year deal, guess what? I've got more of an opportunity to do more things for my employees, my customers, more ways to attract people. I mean, that's one of the reasons David Cox from Bradbury Company put a banner up and bought a bunch of tickets. He says, this is good for our employees.
Yeah, absolutely. I
And
mean, you have to be able to have you have to be able to have a longer term commitment, you know, to make to not just your sponsors, but, you know, your racers and your race fans as well. I mean, it's hard to do anything on a 1-year deal.
You know, and Kyler, you know, we worked so hard on that racetrack, and your team that came over and you working on that racetrack. You know, second to none. I can't get over how good our track was this year. I know there was a lot of skepticism about the racetrack, how we'd come out, but you know, the Silver Crown race had to prove that, right, Kyler?
Well, yeah, and then, you know, there's also a lot of behind the scene things that we've dealt with, you know, trucks breaking down or me tearing trucks up, all sorts of stuff. You know?
It was a learning experience for all of us.
You know, if we do get a new gate, we're going to make it about 8 to 10 inches wider.
At least about 4 inches, about what we need, though, right? Kind of clear So, you know, and that's the next thing is the Murphy Tractor guys. They're excited for next year and the coming years. We've already been talking to them about what to do to the track to try to make it better. I've talked several times again this last 10 days to Mike Van Genderen about the track and everything else too. And of course, the track right now is going to set. We're going to do absolutely nothing to that racetrack until March, I would say. Yep. Somewhere in that part. And that's by what Mike said. I mean, I called him up and said, what do I do? What do I do with it? What should I do? Do I grade it? Do anything? And he said, if there's no major gaping holes or anything else like that, leave it alone. And then we drove over there the other day. Nick and I drove through there. I mean, the track still looks good, Kyler. You did a great job on the last race.
She was smooth. She just was sealed over. She's smooth.
Yeah, she is sealed over and smooth. That's for sure.
She'll stay smooth probably for till March. I'm guessing.
It's like it's got a lid on it.
Yeah, you know, it's a highway right now.
Yeah, but you know, even talking to Curtis from Murphy Tractor and Equipment, you know, he's talked about different things they want to come in and do with the track and stuff. But again, they want a multi-year deal to know they're going to the money that they invest into us and the time they put into it on wear and tear on their equipment, that it's worth the value and worth the time of doing that. And you know what? We get this multi-year deal, and Curtis is ready to go. So excited for that too, you know.
100%. You know, I think a lot of people don't, and I'm guilty of it too, because before this year, I never realized what went into running a racetrack. You know, I mean, you know, even though we just ran it once a month, I mean, just one race a month, there's a lot of work that goes into putting on a race. And and I know Kyler, I know you probably know it better than anybody, but there's a lot of investment that goes in, not just from the equipment side, but the fuel and the personnel and everything you need to run a race day. And it's I think a lot of people maybe don't understand that, and I think we just need to come to an understanding with the fair board, and have a way that we can communicate and kind of see what each other needs, and understand why we need it. And I think if we can get there, I think we can have a lot of success going forward.
Something else just popped in my head too that we didn't even bring up to the fair board is basically we're going to be the only track in the state of Kansas is racing on a Friday night.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be a few of those Western Kansas tracks every now and then that race on a Friday, but not very many. But we're the only one going in 2025. So I think that's another huge thing. I think it's exciting. We can bring back the hobby stocks,
Yeah, absolutely.
And from that part, bring them back over and have some more fun with those guys. That first race they put on was pretty good.
It was a really good race.
So
it's a really good race.
Anyway, what else do we need to talk about? What else did we miss, cover, or whatever?
Well, we need to talk about this awards banquet that's coming up. So the link is live. Get on there. Register yourself up. Choose your beef or chicken choice for your meal. Go to SaltCityRacingLLC.com, and you can sign up right there on the website. If you were one of the, I think, 20 or 22 drivers that made all 5 points races and had perfect attendance, I have a separate link to send you. If you didn't hear from me, just reach out to me, and I will get you that link. But make sure you go on there, get registered up for the banquet, November the 16th. Doors open at 6, dinner at 7, awards at 7:15. So SaltCityRacingLLC.com. Get on there, register, buy your banquet tickets.
And we're having literally
exactly a month away.
God, it is too, isn't it?
So, and we went over there into last week and looked at the 1861 Club to kind of, we'd never been in there before. It's brand new venue over there on the fairgrounds, and it is an awesome place.
It's gonna be fun. Kyler, I'm sorry you missed that part, but it is.
I missed the taste testing. I missed the walkthrough.
Yeah, we did get to do a little taste test of the food that'll be served, and let me tell you,
I called you. You didn't answer the phone when I called you for the taste test.
I was wrecking water trucks,
Anyway, so yes, November 16th. It's 6 o'clock. Doors open. Dinner served at 7. Awards at 7:30, and I want to be out of there by 8:30, 9 o'clock. From that part, recognize every single driver that raced with us each race. From that part, of course, Tyler's going to have his own banquet for Dodge, but also the URSS and the Great High Plains late models that raced with us. So those guys will get recognized at their own banquets that raced with us. So I still think we can at least announce the drivers that raced with us.
Yeah,
in those classes and stuff too, Kyler. So I want to do that just to acknowledge those racers that raced with us.
Sure.
And thank all of them. And I hope, Kyler, that most or all of your crew can come that helped us there in Hutch. Love to recognize them and thank them personally again. I tried to get around as much as I could each race to thank them. But Kyler, again, I can't tell you, you've done a great job with Dodge. You've done a great job with the crew and the people you put together there. You've done a fantastic job, and I can't thank you enough for taking the effort to help us with Hutch. And just hope we can keep this thing moving forward and have a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I think it was meant to be. I think we were our paths were meant to cross, and this might be a little hurdle and a little hiccup on some of the timing that we need, but October 28th is going to be here before we know it. We'll get that meeting taken care of, and then we'll be rolling like gangbusters. It'll be good.
I agree. I think we can get done with 28th with that meeting, and then we can go into the next fair board more in the first week or so of November, and hopefully get an approved contract, and then we can rock and roll from there and go. Driving over to Hutch yesterday, Lisa's in the truck with me and just talking about all the things that she wants to do over there and stuff too. It's getting there, So she's pumped. She's excited to do things for over there. She's a race fan at heart too. She loves racing and stuff. So get ready for some things she's got on her list of things to do over there. So it's going to be fun and exciting, and don't want to miss the awards banquet. That's for sure.
No, you don't. It's going to be fun.
Garrett Stout's getting real funny. Look at us. Somebody's calling you from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
That's
Nick.
my mom. She's in New Mexico. She's on vacation.
Yeah. Garrett, you haven't heard my horse and buggy story, have you, buddy? Because that's one. That's what that is. Sometime I'll get together with you and I'll explain my horse and buggy story to you. Okay. So
It is I agree. It is getting close to my bedtime. I'm ready for bed.
well, the lack of sleep that we have sometimes, it probably is bedtime.
Yeah. What I've learned hanging out with you is you sleep when you can sleep because you may not get another chance.
Okay, I think we've kind of covered everything. I'm going to go back over one more time for people that joined in maybe a little bit later or whatever. I am asking and begging and everybody to comments on Facebook, Chasing the Half Mile site, whatever it is that you're getting onto. We need nothing but positivity. I can't take any more negativity out there on that site or talk about everything. If you have something negative you want to talk about, call me up. I'll talk to you about it, everything else like that. I just don't want it out there on Facebook. Don't want the stuff going around. We need to stay positive. The negative stuff is not helping us get a contract signed with that fair board. They are all watching that site. They're watching what you post. They're watching what you say. And that doesn't help us one iota of getting a contract. If you want to keep the racetrack alive in Hutchinson, put some positive stuff out there. Put some history out there. Put some stuff you liked about what happened this year or anything positive you can about putting out there, but stop the negativity. It can't happen no more whatsoever. I don't want to have to tell somebody to ban somebody off a site, but we might have to do that if we get more negativity coming out there from that part. Nick, Kyler, and I and Lisa are working so hard in the background to get this thing going. If you had any fathom whatsoever what we're going through to get this approved, it'd blow you away. The time, the effort, and everything else, and the money we spent to get a racetrack going and stuff, it'd blow your mind where we're at. So I'm begging you all to stay positive, stay from that part. And if we have to block somebody or block you off the site, I won't get it done. Because that's not what we need right now. It's got to stay positive. We got to stay that because it's going to help us. And everybody that I talk to that's involved with the fair board have said the same thing to me. It's doing nothing but driving us away with the negativity. So help us with that. Keep it positive. Keep everything in the right save, and make sure we're doing the right things to make sure that we can get this racetrack approved. And we'll work hard on the 28th to get it done. And me, Nick, and Kyler will be over there with stuff to help prove our points and prove why we're doing what we're doing. And let's make this thing go on for many, many more years with positivity. That's the only way we're going to get it done. Okay?
100%.
Get registered up for the banquet if you want to come. Love to have you. We need to know
LLC.com.
Need to have our registration early so we can know how to prepare for food and all that kind of stuff and seats and everybody that's coming from that part. Kyler, anything new and exciting on your side other than that? Anything coming up new for Dodge yet? Any schedule time for you or anything yet?
Well, we're working on the schedule. We're talking to some sanctioning bodies, but we're going to go racing at Port City tomorrow with the KKM Challenge. So we're taking the boy racing. So we're looking forward to having some fun.
Exactly. So Garrett, hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate your comments. There's a lot of hard work. I promise you. You know that because you're a racer at heart too, and everything else too. So. Anyway, Kyler and Nick, I can't think of anything else on top of my head. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the racers. Thanks for the fans, everybody that's made this year great. And we're going to have, I promise you, I feel better today that we're going to have a great contract signed the 1st of November. Then we can really kick this thing off and get going with everything that we've got on our place that we want to change and go and have a good time with everybody too. So, Kyler, anything else, last closing comments or anything?
Nope. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate the racing community and all their support. We'll just keep everything positive and rolling forward.
Nick?
Let's get to digging.
Okay. Hey, everybody, have a great night and tune in Saturday morning, 9 o'clock for the Under the Hood Show. If you want to talk about Salt City Racing again some more, we can do that there too. That show's kind of turned into, supposed to be something about fixing your cars, but it's turned into be about anything in the automobile world and Salt City Racing. So Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, and we'll probably tune back in again next Wednesday at 6 o'clock. If there's any, we might post something that we won't do next week, but we'll try to, if we have something exciting to talk about or things like that next Wednesday from that part. But we will definitely be live on the 30th, right? Who knows? We might have to come back over the 28th and have a show after we talked about what we did there too.
Just stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay on the page at Salt City. We'll keep you updated and posted there from that part. And everybody have a great night. Talk to you soon. Keep it positive.